center, whether or not it's the hypervisor, storage, compute, etc.
Hi, I'm Brian Lettard. I'm a senior technical consultant here at Rove. Main focus is a data center as well, but also focus on the data protection aspect as well. I cover both technical pre-sales and implementation of a lot of these projects.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy to have you guys on here today. So for those of you that are tuning in from our last discussion on security, welcome back. We're happy to have you join us on our last and final stop of our virtual roadshow. And for our new guests, welcome. Each year, Rove hosts an annual roadshow to discuss the latest and greatest technologies of the moment at your local baseball stadium. However, just like you, we've had to make adjustments, and this time we're coming to you live from the comfort of your home or office. Game or no game aside, we are excited to be here today to have a conversation with you on all things data center storage and what's important to know during these challenging times. With this new interactive assessment, you can quickly diagnose your data center environment in a matter of minutes. All you have to do is click on the link found below. So let's get to it. Why should our listeners take this online assessment?
Yes, a great question. So I believe it's a great idea to take an assessment like this periodically to make sure your environment can maintain changing and growing workloads. With the challenges in today's work environment, ease of management and ability to scale are critical to your environment.
So Derek, can you further explain to our audience the reasons why we created this online assessment?
Look, everybody loves that moment, the unknown number that they've never seen before shows up on their phone, and it's some guy wanting to talk to you about technology, right? Nobody likes a cold call. So looking at things like doing these assessments, these are a lot of the same questions we ask when we come in. It's a really non-intrusive way for us to engage with you or for you to engage with us if you hear something that you're interested in here. So for us, this is a really great way to reach out, talk to folks, even if you're nervous like we are now, right? We're here to be able to get you through it.
So that's right. So this assessment is not only quick and easy, as Derek said, but it takes under 5 minutes to complete. And with the sudden changes this year, right now couldn't be a better time to evaluate your data center and storage solutions and get advice like Derek and Brian here and all the people at Rove. So with that, let's hear from our two experts. So guys, what are some emerging trends you have seen across verticals in the data center?
So I'll start. We've seen a lot of transformation just in the storage space as a whole. Everything from your 3-tier structure to your hyper-converged infrastructure, there's been a massive shift over the years. Those technologies have continued to evolve. Even more so in the 3-tier space where primary storage has been always followed by servers. Now we've seen serverless workloads where you can load things right on the primary storage itself. We've also, as we all know, you can look behind me and see we're working from home. We've seen a big push because of the COVID front into hyper-converged infrastructure. Because of the home workforce, we've seen a lot of virtual desktop infrastructure or VDI, and hyper-converged is the perfect way to build that solution. In a traditional workload with VDI, you're scaling as your storage and your compute grows and your memory grows, and so it's almost like it was literally built for that use case. So for us, we've seen a big push in that. We've also seen a big push in vaulted solutions that, Brian, I think you can speak more to.
Absolutely. So obviously with the ransomware kind of evolving the last couple of months, the big thing we're seeing is basically it's timing itself now. So you have your backups. Well, ransomware may not even execute for 30 to 60 days. So therefore your backups may be worthless. So what we're seeing is a lot of cybersecurity. So vaulting your backup data, basically you're isolating that data off to a protected site where it's scanned daily to make sure that it's effective and you can actually use that data to restore and bring your environment back up. Another big focus we're seeing is recovery runbooks. Being able to execute on that recovery plan, that disaster plan, is obviously critical to getting everything back up and running. It's also important for members of the team to understand their roles and focus on that.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Brian. Derek, have you seen a big push for disaster recovery?
Look, I think from a disaster recovery standpoint, it should be top of mind for any industry, regardless of your type. Everybody needs a backup plan, right? In life and in technology. So from our perspective, disaster recovery is always a topic of conversation. Business continuity are two words you often hear as well. Look, in our mind, they mean two different things. There's replication, getting your data from point A to point B, and then there's the backup strategy. Nobody's wanting to restore their entire data center from backup, right? Having a secondary copy, a warm site, a hot site is certainly a great thing to have. Because of that, right, we see a lot of people that are nervous about it. The complexities of it are always a challenge. No one likes backups, right? The backup administrator is probably the most hated dude ever, especially if he says, "Yeah, I don't have a copy of that." So from our perspective, that's a really important thing. From a complexity standpoint, it's gotten a lot easier. I think, Brian, with your engineering and implementation background, maybe you can touch on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So cluster storage array based replication has become easy to set up, easy to manage, easy to maintain for basically just replicating everything to offsite locations. There are other options. So there's cloud DR is a valid option now where you can actually replicate your backups to cloud, and you have the ability to power those backups in the cloud, or you can power those, obviously restore those backups to on-prem if necessary. But basically it gives you the flexibility to have a smaller footprint in your DR data center and enable you to bring that stuff up in the cloud.
Thanks, guys. Each and every time, I'm amazed as to how much our team knows about everything regarding data center, storage, security, all the topics above. So any closing thoughts before we go?
So look, from an assessment point of view, right, it's a 4-letter word with a lot more letters, right? We would love for you to take it, try it out, look at it. Again, we ask a lot of these questions when we're out doing these pre-sales type engagements. There's always a lot more to follow on to this, and maybe this generates a conversation, or maybe you hear something here that maybe applies to you. Maybe you'd like to hear more. So from our perspective, thank you for your time. And certainly if you have a second, click that assessment, fill it out, and if you're interested, be in touch.
Yeah, and just to follow up on that, obviously, kind of like Derek said, data protection and recovery are critical to any environment. Having those run books, having those tasks, documented and ready to roll are critical. Taking the assessment is a really great place to start, kind of getting that mindset and moving forward in that.
Yeah. So there you have it. As you start thinking about 2021, it is important to take some time to review and assess your future growth plans, and taking a few minutes right now may be all the more worthwhile to get a head start for next year. So as a reminder, you can begin the assessment via the link provided below. It's right underneath. And I want to thank Brian and Derek for taking the time to chat today. And thank you to our new and returning guests for tuning in. We are excited to launch this interactive assessment and hope that you'll get a lot out of it. And just in case you're looking for more than just a quick assessment, we also offer a wide variety of services, including in-depth assessments, training, strategy sessions, and full feature demos on anything data center and storage related. Thank you again for joining, and we hope to chat with you soon. Thanks again for joining.